what can I say? Like, this whole Arsenal Shabazzle and Shabizzle or whatever, it gets on my nerves. It grinds me because our team are not mentally strong. Our team are nowhere near how they should be. And like, I'm looking at other teams like Man City. I'm looking at Liverpool, even Chelsea now, Leicester. You you see what they're doing. Like, they go to away games and they're performing, or they go to, they're playing at home and they're very dominant. For us, on the other hand, we're we've got a poor away record, and then we've got a poor home record at the moment in terms of how we letting a team, like, no disrespect to Crystal Palace, but how are we letting a team like Crystal Palace come to us and claw their way back into the game when we was clearly 2 goals up, 2-0 up against Palace. Like, come on. It's and it's like to do with like the defending and everything like that. Like, the defending is so like it's schoolboy error. The only thing like I can say is just you knew, I said this before, if you look at like my match preview or whatever, like I was saying on my page, you know what Zaha's about. You know what he's gonna do. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to double up on him. And I felt like the Crystal Palace, they set up that they were going to double up on Pepe because they saw that he was a threat. But for us, we've seen Zaha in the league how many times? We've seen him do it. We've seen him do what he does, sorry. We've seen him do it numerous of times, do you know what I mean? And it's like, that was my biggest worry, was that whole right-back position. Having Callum Chambers, even though Callum Chambers has been playing really well there, he's still a bit slow compared to Zaha, and that was my biggest worry. But then the other question is, who would you put there? Would you rather have a not 100% Bella in there, or would you put Maitland-Niles, who obviously had a poor game on Thursday? And the answer is probably no, because Callum Chambers probably deserved to play at right back. But I just think, against Zaha one-on-one, very, very dangerous. The one thing I'll say about it is just like this whole challenge. This is the thing for me, like, as a defender, I hate it right now, what's going on in the modern day game. Obviously, because we know now, if you get contact or if someone touches you, you have to go down. And it's like, what the strikers and the attackers are doing now, which is quite smart, is obviously they're seeing that someone will commit. They're seeing that a defender will commit, stick a leg out, and they will kind of put their body in the way. So then, obviously, it looks like there's contact. And it's like, even if you look at the challenge, yeah, I'm telling you, look at the challenge, and you're telling me, like, you can actually fly. Like, Zaha was literally flying. He literally flew, like, after a small little touch from Chambers. It's so difficult, because then it's like, as a defender, what do? You don't touch him? If you don't commit yourself, then people are going to question you as a player, as a defender, your commitment. Oh, you don't want to commit to a foul. But then, even if you just try and attempt just a little bit, the attacker's just flying. Like, there has to be, like, there's not enough balance at the moment. There's not enough balance. And I was with the ref. Like, the ref, he done the right thing. His initial reaction was like, nah, that's not worth a penalty, and that is actually a dive. But then obviously this VAR thing is just killing the game, literally killing the game. And it's like, who are these people? Who are they that sit upstairs and they're the ones that are like, nah, let's have a look at this one, and no, I think it was a penalty or not. Like, what gives them the power or the authority to do that? Like, what makes them experts in the game? That's the thing that, like, proper grieves me. So obviously we gave away the penalty. And then as soon as we gave away the penalty, you could see that Crystal Palace, obviously, they were a lot more confident. And it's just things like that, you're just like, oh, man. We allow these teams to come back. We haven't got that mental capacity to kill off games and to kill off teams. And obviously, everyone knows that now. People have known it for a long time. Let's be real. People have known it for a long time. But it's like, now it's just... it's a free-fall. It's come to the Emirates, have the game of your life, you know. Teams that haven't scored for how many seasons manage to score. Players that are on goal droughts always seem to find a goal, you know what I mean? Or teams that haven't been performing, they manage to, like, perform to the best of their ability. It's just like, it's so annoying, so frustrating. So for me, I actually said, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if Crystal Palace come away with something based on their away record, and they done it. You know, they managed to squeeze out a draw, but for us, it's just poor. The only good thing, I guess, is, well, not even the good thing. Like, Pepe, obviously, we went 2 goals up. Pepe with 2 assists from the corners, like set pieces. And it was nice to see, obviously, Socrates and David Luiz getting on the score sheet. But I just think defensively, we're just so poor. That second goal that we conceded, like, I can't remember what happened. I don't know if it was Zaha or Ayew who had the ball. No, it was Zaha who had the ball in the wing, and I think Xhaka was running with him. It's like, for me, it's like, you cannot let the guy cross the ball. Don't let him cross it. But it was just kind of, all right, I'm doing the right thing in terms of showing him line. I'm showing him down the channel. But I'm not going to actually attempt to put a challenge in, or I'm not going to block it. And it was just, you allow the ball to go up in the air. David Luiz as well, like his whole body shape and his awareness was just all off. And Ayew obviously got in between that, just knocked the ball down. To me, it was a pretty soft goal to concede, especially for Leno. But it was just all round, it was just a poor goal to concede. And I just think that Emery is struggling with this team. He really is. He's struggling, people. To talk about this whole Xhaka thing, yeah? I'll be, okay. For me, as you're supposed to be a captain, for me, as a captain, you just don't do those things. I've never seen a captain do that. I've seen Arsenal faithful turn on like certain players like Abue or whatever, but it's been a while since I've seen that. And for me, I can see why Xhaka was peed off. I can see why he was upset. But then again, like, he's kind of fallen into the whole, like, he was doing things to get on people's nerves, to get on the fans' nerves, and i.e., you're getting substituted. Okay, fair enough. Like, you're not happy. You feel like you deserve to stay on. But for me, it's like, you are not bigger than the club. The club is always going to be the biggest thing. And it was a tactical reason why he got taken off. Not because he had a poor game. He wasn't the poorest player on the pitch. Everyone has said that. But it's just the fact that he was just taking his time to get off the pitch. Like, he was feeding the fans, more or less. And then you go ahead and then you start swearing and telling, like, the fans to fuck off and things like that. Like, what do you expect? Now, I'm not saying that I don't know what goes on at home. I don't know what happens, like what his wife or his newborn has to go through in terms of like the abuse that he gets online and things like that. But obviously that comes with the job, in terms of people feel like, oh, because he gets paid so much money and he's on this platform, he's susceptible, yeah, to criticism. And it's just like, as like, I think some of the people have said, like on Arsenal Fan TV or whatever, like, he is a human being, and it's like, no one wants to be treated like that. No one wants to be hated like that. That's not a nice feeling. But then again, I can understand why he was just like, oh, you know what, like, just fuck off, like, you know what I mean? But throwing your captain's armband, throwing your shirt on the floor, walking out of the tunnel, it's like, what example are you showing? What example in terms of, you're supposed to be a leader, you got like kids that follow you and things like that. You doing that, is that setting the right example? And that's the kind of things you have to be as a man. You have to be like, oh, you know what, like, let me just hold it. All right, I'm not happy with the way the fans are doing it, but you can change it. All it takes is a good performance or a number of good performances, and you know, like, you showing heart as a captain, or you showing heart as an Arsenal man, for the fans to get behind you. And it's just like, it's so simple. It's just simple things like that. But if you want to go on interviews and you want to say things on social media about, you just feel that you're being the scapegoat and things like that, then clearly they're going to come for you. The fan base is going to come for you. So that wasn't right. Obviously, now we heard that there's been talks with Emery and the board about Xhaka and his captaincy, and he should be fined, and then they're considering stripping him of his captaincy. If that happens. But you know what I mean, I think what he done, it does deserve, you know, he don't deserve to have the captaincy after that. It wouldn't look right. So then the question is, who is going to be the captain? Obviously, a lot of people are saying like Guendouzi, but then he's too young. People are saying Socrates, but they're saying, you know, is he actually a leader? David Luiz, because he's been a captain before. He's captain his national team, Brazil. I don't know, but this is more than just the whole captaincy thing. This is like in terms of the way that we're playing. Last week was poor all round, and it just seems that there's a lot of players on that pitch that don't know what they're doing, and it's quite worrying because we've got a new manager. He's trying to implement something new. I don't know, but we don't know what style it is. He's trying to implement maybe playing in from the back, but we seem very uncomfortable. We don't know what to do. If we play against a team that's pressing us high, we don't know what to do. You're not playing your players in the right position. Like, Torreira should be like DM. Like, we've seen Torreira last season, or when he was here with Wenger. Some of the performances he was putting in as a defensive midfielder, he was the key. He was the answer to all our prayers. And it's kind of like Emery's kind of just said, I'm going to push you forward now. I'm not even going to have you there because I want you to win the ball higher up. Now, obviously, tactically, you can say, all right, cool, I kind of understand, but still, no. We've seen it before where players have not been put in their, their position, like Kante for Chelsea when Sarri was there. That didn't end well for Sarri, and obviously Kante's been put back in his position, and look what they're doing at Chelsea. So it's so key to play the players in their rightful position. Then obviously we move on to the whole Ozil thing. The Ozil thing, Emery should have just played him in the Europa League. Just said, look, go out, prove yourself, show me what you can do, and we'll see. But I think it's got past that point now where Ozil's run out of chances, and now it's just like they're basically saying, yeah, play until, or not even play. You're not going to play until we sell you. So yeah, it's got to that point now where it's just like a battle of egos, and it's kind of ridiculous because we need the creativity, but then also I can see because Ozil's had chances, people. Let's be real. He's actually had chances like to perform, but he never does. And I just think people, I'm tired of it, but then also I'm tired of seeing my team like not create anything and we struggle. But then also I'm tired of seeing him play, featuring a team, and he's not putting in the work, or he loses, he gets dispossessed, and then we concede a goal or something like that. So it's one of those things. I think Emery either has to like bite his tongue or bite the bullet and just play him, see what happens. Because can it get any worse? Like what right now is pretty bad. Like that draw is pretty bad. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about the Arsenal game. We're in trouble at the moment. I think we got upcoming games. Obviously, we got Liverpool this week in the Carabao Cup. I think we got Leicester as well. These are not going to be easy games, and I think psychologically as well, the players are not going to really be on doing this. So Emery needs to get the team together, sort out the captaincy, and get the fans behind the team. Or this could be a long season, people. I said this when it was Wenger season, when Wenger was in charge. I said it's going to get worse before it gets better, and I feel like this is what's happening now. But if Emery keeps losing, boy, he could be gone. He could be gone. But yeah, what else was I going to say? What, subscribe? No, I'm not even going to say subscribe to my channel. Like, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you lot in a bit. Peace.